Après 10 ans d'attente, les studios Creative Assembly s'apprêtent à nous livrer la suite de leur jeu de stratégie ayant pour univers le Japon féodal. L'occasion pour Nolife de rencontrer le lead designer du projet, James Russell, afin d'en savoir un peu plus sur ce jeu très attendu.
Well, Total War is a unique game series, and what's special about Shogun 2 Total War is that we have, a real-time battle engine where you get to play a general, control thousands upon thousands of soldiers in a huge cinematic battle, which looks like the most epic movies, and so we're depicting the battles between samurai armies of 16th century Japan in a really fantastic, epic manner. And we also have a second element to the game, which is a turn-based strategy game. So it's a very deep, interesting strategy game where you get to play a warlord in feudal Japan. So there's an empire building element. So you control different territories, you construct buildings, you manage cities, and you construct armies. So what makes Total War special is the combination between these two elements.
Shogun 2 revient sur le Japon du XVIe siècle et vous laisse incarner un chef de clan parmi 9 qui devra réunifier le Japon. Un contexte historique qui a poussé les développeurs à mettre l'accent sur l'histoire justement, même si le jeu semble nous laisser un degré de liberté dans nos choix plutôt important.
Total War is really a game where we want to put the player in a historical setting and a historical situation, but let them write their own story. But what we want to do is, obviously we have a tutorial, campaign tutorial mode where there is quite a strong story-driven element of the story of one particular clan, and you're taught the game features and within the context of a story. But in the main game, what we do is there are 9 clans that you can choose to play. Each one has its own strengths and weaknesses. Each one has its own, initial setup where they might have a particular clan that's a threat or their enemy, and the particular clan that's their ally. So we do want to start the player off with a story and some specific early objectives, to actually help set the scene for the player. But ultimately, over the longer term, the player is obviously free to play the game how they wish.
Il existe à ce jour une demi-douzaine de titres estampillés Total War, tous traitant de périodes aussi intéressantes les unes que les autres. Pourquoi alors avoir choisi de développer une suite à Shogun?
I mean, we have a massive list of things we want to do, and we actually polled the team, and Shogun was the project that we really wanted to do. We were all really passionate about doing Shogun, and I think there's a number of reasons for that. It's a fantastic period. It's colourful. You have amazing combat. Samurai armies, ninjas, geishas, all that kind of flavour. But at the same time, it was also what attracted us to it is that we wanted to move away from a European theatre and do something a bit different. Also, Empire, our previous game, it represented almost Total War. Writ large to its greatest extent. We're almost portraying the entire world. So what we actually wanted to do with Shogun was to go into a more contained setting where we're portraying one culture, but that means we can do it in exquisite detail rather than trying to represent many cultures across the whole world.
Pour alimenter ce mélange de stratégie au tour par tour et de batailles épiques en temps réel, Shogun 2 propose une flopée d'unités, toutes upgradables, ayant chacune leurs forces et leurs faiblesses.
Each character type has its own skill tree. So generals have their skill tree. Ninjas, geishas, the Metsuke units and the monk agents. All the different character types on the campaign map have their own unique trees that allows you to specialize them and improve their abilities to do the kind of things that they do. I mean, what we've done with the set of characters is we wanted to make sure that every character has a specific action that they can perform against every other kind of object on the map. So there's, if you take your monk agent, there's something specific they do to your own armies, to enemy armies, something specific that they do to your own towns and to enemy towns. And we also wanted to create a kind of parallel stone, scissors, paper kind of gameplay between the different characters. So every character has a particular strength, but also a particular weakness. So, for instance, the ninja is countered by the Metsuka agent, kind of the secret police kind of agent that is primarily used to track down the ninja. So we wanted to, what we've done is each skill tree, you can choose a particular path down which to specialize the characters.
Même si Creative Assembly ne prétend pas instruire la jeunesse en matière d'histoire japonaise, le studio anglais a tout de même tenu à garder une certaine authenticité par rapport à la période traitée.
Well, the philosophy of Total War is to make an authentic experience. We want to stay. We want to immerse the player in the history of the period, and so that means that we want to make an authentic. We want to make an authentic game. We want to use. We want to depict real units in the way that they fought. We want to put the player immerse the player in the position of a feudal warlord in Japan in the period, and we do. Yeah, we have a consultant historian, Dr. Stephen Turnbull, who's actually written a lot of books on this period of Japanese history and translated a lot of stuff, and he's been absolutely a great help and a great inspiration for making sure that the game's authentic, but also giving us some great ideas for some really interesting features.
On espère simplement que Shogun 2 Total War, qui sortira sur PC en mars 2011, arrivera à fournir aux amoureux de la série la dose de stratégie qu'ils attendent depuis maintenant 10 ans.